I'm going to show you two plants that you can save over the winter so that you don't have to repurchase them in the spring by taking cuttings of this geranium. This geranium, I had cuttings from last year and I grew it this year. So what we want to do is go in and look for a tip of a geranium that's growing very nicely. Take that off. Just snap it off. You don't need to cut it because for some reason it works better if you don't cut it. Take off the bottom leaves, any flowers or flower buds. Leave about 3 or 4 leaves at the top, and then you have this base. And we will put that in a pot, which I will show you in a few seconds. Okay. Here. Come here. What are you doing? This is a sweet potato vine that I took a cutting off of last year's plant that I had, and I saved the tip over winter in water by taking the tips, keeping them rooting in water, and in February planting that rooted plant in some soil, potting soil, and then it's ready to put out as soon as the frosts are gone. So what we're going to do is we want to look for a nice tip that's growing, and this is what we call the tip. I want to make sure I have enough nodes because the roots will grow from the leaf node. So on this tip, I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to take it way down in here, like that, and I'm going to remove all but the top of here, and I'm going to take another one, take the leaves off. You don't want the leaves underwater. So all those leaves will come off, and I believe this one too. And I'm going to put that in a glass of water. So now we will show you how to do this. Alright, the sweet potato vine that I just cut off, you can see there's a leaf node, there's a leaf node, and this is my jar. And the water is going to cover the bottom 2 leaf nodes. So I could put 5 or 6 tips like this in the water, and then place it in a non-sunny but a brightly lit window, and maybe an east window would be good in your house. And eventually, because it's warm in there, the roots will start to grow. And again, like I said, February you can plant that. Here's the snip we took of the geranium. I took a pot like this, and because it has larger holes in the bottom, I placed a piece of newspaper. Some people like to use coffee filters, and I placed that in the bottom to hold the dirt inside, and then I filled it with potting soil. You can also use a mixture of sand and peat moss to root your cutting, but then after the roots form in about 3 weeks, you should transplant it to potting soil. I'm going to just put mine directly in potting soil, just placing it in as such and giving it a drink, making sure it's moist. Now I'm going to place that in a plastic bag, but I'm not going to close it tightly. I'm going to leave it so that it does not create moisture in the bag, and that'll provide a little greenhouse, and this will start to root, and next spring, in say maybe January, February, I can take more cuttings off of this and start more geraniums, or I can just plant this directly to end up with geraniums that are basically free. So you can do this with coleus. You can take snippings of your coleus, pinch out the growing tip of the coleus, and place them in water just like this. They'll start to form roots, and you can plant them indoors. The last thing I like to do, because outdoor plants can have insects and pests, and they can get on your house plants inside, is take an insecticidal soap to kill the aphids, the white flies and such, and then treat them. Just spray that on to get rid of any bugs that may be on there before you take it into the house. And that is that. Happy gardening!